Hi there guys, and welcome to another Blowdown episode. Today we are going to be talking about tips and tricks and what you can do to improve your reef spearfishing. When I started out a couple of years back, the guys told me some tips and tricks, but they don't really tell you everything, so I might leave out a couple of secrets, but I'm going to try my best to fill you in on what I've learned over the last couple of years from a number of spearfishermen, some not so good and some excellent spearfishermen. So I'm going to try my very best to teach you so that you don't make the same mistakes. The very first thing where I'm going to start off is with your breathe up. I've got no formal training or anything with regards to my breathe up. Any techniques that I have was self-taught or with a little bit of help from here and there, from YouTube and Adam Freediver and all the guys that I can find. But the main thing for me is I try not to hyperventilate. So by hyperventilating I mean by breathing anything that's abnormal basically. So I just breathe normal. Before I go down, I take my one last big breath and then I start going down, and that's very comfortable for me. Don't do anything that's uncomfortable for you. If you feel like you're doing a breathe up and you don't feel really comfortable, don't do it. Then before I dive down, I try and pick a spot. So when I'm lying at the top, I try and pick a little gully or a little spot that I feel it's going to be nice for me, where I feel that that's going to be a place where I can dig myself in, push out my shoulders or push out my legs so that I can don't get smashed around by the swell or the surge, so that I can get stuck in that little spot and be as comfortable as possible. So when I pick my spot, when I'm on top on the surface, when I pick my spot, I don't dive directly onto my spot. I dive a little bit behind my spot and I try and slide into the spot. If I dive on top of my spot, there's no space for me to slide into that spot. So I make sure that the spot is in front of me when I dive down. Even if I can't see the bottom from the surface, I make sure that when I go down, I pick a spot. On my way down, I pick a spot where I want to go down, where I want to make myself comfortable. And then I try and do that. So another mistake that I've seen a lot of my friends make that's starting out now is they don't dive onto the bottom. Around about a meter and a half when they're from the bottom, they come up and then they hang around there. They don't dive straight to the bottom. What I try and do is I dive straight down to the bottom and my nose almost hits the bottom, and only then do I come horizontal. Yeah, that's just the technique that helps me to get to the bottom a little bit quicker. And the quicker you get to the bottom, the more bottom time you're gonna have. If you're gonna hang around a meter from the top, then obviously you're not gonna be comfortable on the bottom. Somebody explained to me this once a time ago. They explained to me that if you are standing in a grocery store, this is how you must approach spearfishing. If you are standing in the grocery store and somebody walks in, they've got big eyes and you can see their eyes are scared and they pull out a gun and they start waving the gun around. What are you going to do? Obviously you're going to duck or you're going to run out of the store. Exactly the same thing with spearfishing. As soon as you start waving your gun around, you've got big eyes and you're making yourself this big target, the fish are going to spook and they're going to run away. They're going to swim away. So the main thing is to try and be as comfortable as possible when you get down to the bottom. A good indication that you are comfortable and you're doing everything right is when the smaller fish starts to appear. So once the smaller fish starts to appear, then obviously you're doing things right. Just hang there at the bottom as comfortable as possible, and the bigger fish will come around. If you spook the smaller fish, then obviously you're doing it wrong already, and the bigger fish won't come in. So once you are on the bottom, I'd always try and find a comfortable spot for my gun. I put my gun down. You'll see in the videos I put my gun down. Normally on red bait, I put my gun down. I let it lie flat so that I don't start waving it around and scare the fish away. I also try and hide as much as possible off my body. I try and grab hold of my left hand, try and grab hold of a rock, or try and nudge myself into wedge myself into a little space so that the surge can't push me around. And then I try and get as comfortable as possible. The more uncomfortable you are, the fish won't come in first, and the more energy you're wasting. The more comfortable you are, the less energy you're using, the more bottom time you will have. So then I just lie there and wait for the fish. Once I see that there is a fish coming in, I don't lift my gun up and chase the fish. If the fish is swimming in the direction of my gun, I simply lift my gun up and wait for the fish to come in front of my spear. Pull the trigger and the fish is yours. As you can see here, I'm trying to find a little spot there. I found my little spot and I'm swimming into that little gap in the rocks there. So I've tucked myself in. Normally you can't really see that my head's tucked away because the camera is on top of my head, but there you can see I put my gun down next to me and I'm starting to move my head slowly around. I see the fish come in, lift my gun, the fish swims right in front of my gun, and I shoot the fish. I also, when possible, I try, if I do have the bottom time and breath hold, I try and gather the fish before I go up, so that the fish can't swim into a cave or into rocks or anything. Luckily this was a stone shot, so I was very fortunate to shoot this mussel cracker like that. But yeah, that's a short explanation of how I try and do it. Doesn't always work, and like I said, I'm not a professional in any way. There's guys that know lots more about spearfishing than me, but this is stuff that I wish that I knew when I started a couple of years back, and I hope that I can help somebody. If you have any other tips or techniques that you would like to include, please leave it in the comment section. And this mussel cracker that I shot was the same day that the great white was chasing me around. So if you haven't seen that video, please go and check out that video, and subscribe to the channel to enter yourself into the competition to win that awesome spear gun. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next episode.